Welcome back to another episode of the Night Audit. I'm your host, Chaze Barnes. If it's your first time being here, let me give you the honors or do the honors to do this for you all. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to jump right into it. Make sure you hit a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Okay, we got a little bit of a jam-packed show. If you seen yesterday's episode, it was heavy. It was heavy towards the end. Okay. Again, there's some heaviness, but then there's some not so heaviness stuff that we gotta shift through. So please welcome and enjoy the show. And we're gonna start with this first story.
A federal judge and a high-ranking Atlanta police official are at the center of explosive allegations.
It involves sexual encounters inside the judge's chambers during work hours. Tonight, Channel 2 investigative reporter Ashley Lincoln breaks down the judicial order. And Ashley, federal judges discovered this activity went on for years.
Yeah, according to this 20-page order from the chief judge over the 11th district. Now, the report does not name the judge, but for the last 2 days, I've been speaking with sources and going through public records to identify the accused after federal employees complained about hearing intimate noises through the walls.
These are serious allegations.
They're allegations of sexual encounters during work hours that a federal judge admitted to, according to this newly released judicial order. The report details an investigation launched after a complaint was filed against a federal judge last September.
I don't think judges are perfect. They're human beings, too.
Former federal prosecutor Doug Gilfillan says federal laws allow judges' identities to remain undisclosed in reports like these to protect the integrity of investigations.
However, the law requires an order like this one to be made public if there's an imposition of discipline.
The report claims the judge had sex on at least 5 occasions over a 2-year period inside her chambers with a high-ranking police officer. Employees interviewed during the investigation described multiple incidents where they allegedly heard people having sex through the walls. One court clerk testified to hearing what was described as unsettling noises, kissing, and music coming from the judge's chambers.
Why should the everyday person care about these allegations?
The American legal system depends on honesty and truthfulness.
This investigative report did not identify the judge or the officer, but multiple sources confirmed to Channel 2 that federal judge Eleanor Ross and Atlanta Police Deputy Chief Kelly Collier were the 2 accused. In the complaint, the judge's employee said she attended a primary election victory party for a district attorney on May 21, 2024. A source provided Channel 2 this photo showing Ross at that party. The order also says the judge presided over a hearing the following day. Channel 2 obtained federal court records showing Ross presided over a supervised release hearing on May 22, 2024. And regarding the officer, the chief judge wrote the officer has worked for the PD since 1998, later adding that the officer has held this role since 2025. Atlanta police records show Collier joined the department in 1998, and his LinkedIn profile reflected a promotion in 2025. That LinkedIn page has since been taken down. I reached out to Ross, but a representative responded with no comment. The chief judge has already issued Ross a private reprimand, and she agreed to write apology letters to her employees. She was also reprimanded for attending a political event, as federal judges are prohibited from participating in political activities. The chief judge said harsher discipline was not imposed because of the judge's exemplary service to the court, along with the fact the judge ended the relationship and accepted responsibility.
In some ways, this is a self-inflicted wound, and it just shows further distrust in the system by the public, and that's just not something that we need right now.
And Atlanta police provided a statement this afternoon saying it launched an investigation to determine if the person mentioned in the federal report is an Atlanta police officer. Now, we've attempted to reach out to Collier and have not heard back. Reporting live in the newsroom, Ashley Lincoln, Channel 2 Action News.
Okay. Ooh, man, there's a lot going on in that story, right? There's a lot happening. I can see why a lot of things that probably don't get happen. I can see why a lot of things don't probably get happen in Atlanta. Okay, so I live in the metro Atlanta area, but I don't live in Atlanta. I don't vote in Atlanta. I tell people that. I be very, very clear about that. Very clear about that. It is safe to say that there is no place that no one is having sex. Listen, you cannot do anything to jeopardize your job. And I know I had another video. I know people, I understand that people meet people in different places and stuff like that. Okay. But you, both of y'all, whoever, listen. If it risks your job, because listen, making the kind of money that the guy was making, because the judge gonna keep her job. Okay, the police chief, he's cannon fodder. He's cannon fodder, right? So unless you can find, it's really hard, especially when you reach a certain level in, hold on, put me back on the screen here because I'm looking at something. Hold on. It is very hard to, once you reach a certain level in life and income and stuff like this, it's hard to replace that income, right? It's hard to replace it, right? And why would you do it at work? I have two questions I do have to ask particularly, but like, was it worth it? Now they said they had sex 5 times over a 2-year period, or whatever, and all that. So it was kind of like, so it was very random, very sporadic, whatever, and all that. But was it worth it? A lot of times, the impact is greater than the allure. Okay. So one question I have to ask here is, if a federal judge is having relations in the chambers with a senior law enforcement official doing business hours, I'm sorry, he's not a chief, so he was a senior official, law enforcement official doing business hours, can any case involving that police department under her jurisdiction be considered fair? I'm just asking the question. I wrote that down. I was like, you know what? I have it up. We'll deal with one question at a time. Seriously. Can anyone think, because now you got to think about, she probably was let him clap the cheeks or whatnot while trying to decide someone's faith, whether they're going to get 15 years or they're going to get life. What if he's going to get the death penalty or he's just going to get life? Okay. Like, I mean, listen, again, two things be true at the same time, but again, like, people you gotta make better decisions. You got to make better decisions. The judicial system is already under attack anyway. People don't think that justice is fair. People don't think they get a fair trial. And when they hear stuff like this, come out, they got more reasons to question it when they sit before a judge. What if it's on a state level? What if it's on a local level? Now, it's the federal level. Okay. And the only thing you do, reprimand it, you write apologies. I'm sorry that I had sex during office hours. I was too loud and all that stuff like that. And the thing about it is, they knew about it. They didn't say anything about it. Or they was like, hey, you gotta, hey, calm that down. Hey. Because again, you can listen, off the hours. I mean, listen, off business hours. Hey man, do what you want to do. You're still a representative, he's still a representative of the Atlanta Police Department. She's still a federal judge. Those roles don't change. Now, people could have been going through whatever it is, marriage, separation, whatnot, however it may be. You should not be mixing that with the work. Because again, how can you know that any case involving that police department, because people already have it out for law enforcement anyway. People think you get, and again, this is a federal judge. Again, people already, sentencing guidelines probably was already enough. Now you probably got to review all the cases, but they said she had an exemplary status. I don't believe that. You had sex 5 times. Now again, you can have sex, but those times could have been when somebody's, what if they're gonna go, they're gonna get off scot-free, or they're gonna do time behind jail, do time behind bars. Listen, guys, listen, you gotta exercise some dick discipline. Okay, exercise some sexual control. Don't put no hole before your door. Okay, you can't lose women. Listen, I'm sorry. You can listen, you can't lose money by chasing women, but you can lose women by chasing, you can lose money by chasing women, but you can't lose women by chasing money. Well, I'm very clear about that. I'm very clear about that. If you're gonna do, you gotta keep it separate. You gotta separate the two. You gotta detach. You gotta detach. You got a job to do, Mr. Senior Law Enforcement Official. You got a job to do, the 11th Circuit Federal Judge, ma'am. And my second question, why is the 11th Circuit Court keeping the judge identity hidden from the public when taxpayer dollars fund those business hours? We, us, the taxpayer. Now, again, like I said, I don't live in Atlanta, but I do pay federal taxes. I do pay federal taxes. They tax the tax, and they want to throw more taxes. That's a different conversation. But why? Now, okay. Of course, I also know that I probably know the answer to that, because one, if it's a high profile case, because you security reasons, I understand that. But then somehow a picture of her did get leaked out. If people really want to find you, find out who you are, what you are, whatnot, people have the means, the means to do so. Be careful. Now, if you're on top of your job, whatever, and all that stuff like that, again, and y'all doing y'all little magitoire, as long as it don't interfere with the work, as long as it interfere with the money, okay. But you got cases, you got listen. There's already a backlog of cases. People probably waiting for trial. People waiting to listen. A right to a speedy trial. Can't get a right to a speedy trial. That's what somebody need to figure out. That's what somebody need to figure out there. How can you get a right to a speedy trial? Because listen, federal prosecutors don't try cases unless they're going to win. And they already did what is it, like a lockdown, like Operation Lockdown for the FIFA World Cup. And who knows? She probably presided over. She's probably presiding over those cases. Now, those people did do some, it was alleged to do some foul things, some scumbag behavior or whatnot. But you also got scumbag behavior going on over here. I don't know. I mean, when you get to certain places in life, whatever and all that, you got to make better decisions. You got to make different decisions. We already got a judge problem. We already that's why they so lenient on crime. That's why they so lenient. But again, it's a different conversation. Different conversation we're having here. Okay, so I mean, let me get this off the screen. Sorry. Seriously. I mean, like music, loud noises, kissing. I mean, like, dang. I mean, I like sex, but I love making money more. The sex gonna be there. The women gonna be there. Listen, they not going nowhere. Listen, we pay you to chase down the bad guys. We pay you to preside on to fairly judge cases. Okay, get your cheeks clapped on your own time. Okay, listen, like control your my guy, control your boxolitis. All right. Moving on to the next story. Okay, this next one is wild here, y'all. This is another one here now. We're gonna change it up here. Yeah, man, fraud. Listen, Nick Shirley, they trying to stop.
Several months, the CBS News investigative unit has followed the government crackdown on criminals who steal from taxpayers. That's not nice. They commit fraud targeting hospice, daycare, and food assistance programs. So this morning, we're taking a look at how prosecutors are.
Y'all should be apologizing to Nick Shirley. Y'all should apologize to that man. He was right. He was right. He was on it. He was on it. And y'all try to go on the scene and try to discredit him. Y'all, shame. Y'all do that. Y'all did that half-cocked reporting. Shame. We did a story about a woman yesterday over there in Florida, decades long of fraud, getting evicted, got evicted 26 times over a 20-year period. Continue.
Trying to figure out, where is all that money going? Adam Yamaguchi takes us inside the case of one convicted fraudster.
In the Southern California warehouse, a fresh haul of exotic cars paid for by defrauding American taxpayers.
I've seen over a dozen Ferraris, Lamborghinis, a Bugatti, Lotus.
LA's top federal prosecutor Bill O'Saley showed us around this U.S. Marshal's warehouse.
It should offend every American taxpayer that these people are taking advantage of the system and enriching themselves.
These items had been owned by Paul Randall, who pleaded guilty this year in one of the largest Medi-Cal fraud cases in California history.
He submitted above dollars worth of claims to the state of California.
Authorities say that money paid for Kobe Bryant game-worn sneakers, baseball cards of Jackie Robinson and Mickey Mantle, and this home, one of 7 properties Randall owned.
Let me tell you what a piece of work this Randall guy was. He's got 6 prior convictions for fraudulent conduct.
Who's responsible for the breakdown of the system?
Obviously, there's a breakdown in the criminal justice system. If this guy was able to have 6 convictions and never did any real prison time.
We turned up a private driveway.
He was living like a king off of us.
Climbing into an exclusive corner of Orange County.
It's 8 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms.
In other cases, prosecutors believe some of the money not spent on luxury goods is sent overseas.
It's much more difficult, if not impossible, for us to trace it or recover it.
Investigating government fraud is a priority for Haywood Talcove. He's been warning officials about scams for 2 decades.
U.S. taxpayers lose $1 trillion a year to these criminal groups.
Where's it going?
It goes to Russia, it goes to China, it goes to Nigeria, it goes to Romania.
By his estimate, of that $1 trillion, roughly 70% ends up in the hands of transnational criminal gangs.
Taxpayers are funding transnational criminals who are using this money for horrible things.
Cars, cards, compounds. This is what fraud looks like after it's already happened. O'Saley and Talcove agree.
That is why it is so important that the money never goes out in the first place.
Now, it's worth noting the stolen taxpayer money is meant to help people in need through various government programs. Now, Randall faces up to 30 years in prison when he's sentenced in August. He did not want to talk to us for the story. Vlad?
Adam, as always, excellent investigation. Kudos to you and the team. Really, job well done. Appreciate it.
If people want to know where their money's going on, where their money's going to as a taxpayer, this is where it's going to. When you want to say why nothing can't get done, why the roads can't get fixed, why the bridges can't get fixed, why the sidewalk can't get clean, why we can't get new lights, think of that. When you ask those questions, you once you start pulling the tail of something, the string of something, you start finding out. You get your magnifying glass on, you get your Sherlock on. I was about to say Carmen Sandiego. Where is Carmen Sandiego? You get your Johnny Quest on, okay? Scooby-Doo. I'm telling you, it's all fraud. Listen, she said the food shelter, she said the nursing homes, the daycare centers, they all misspelled. And I think the law enforcement, they be knowing, they be like, ha ha ha, them people stupid. That ain't, something is off about that. But you can only whistleblow it unless somebody can, listen, what I know is that the right kind of people got to get pissed off at it. If the right kind of people ain't pissed off, we just write it off. We don't need no more community this and no community. Listen, it all sounds good on paper. I don't think it's $1 trillion. I do have 2 questions to ask to this. I don't think it's $1 trillion. I think it's more than that. I think they're underreporting the numbers. Listen, people like us are trying to get rich. We trying to seek God. We trying to seek God, get God, and get rich. We can't, this is what we up against. This is what we up against. We out here every single day trying to do the right thing, trying to do the honoring thing. And these folks over here are undercutting the system. Messing with the money. Y'all listen, people listen. We got our priorities all jacked up. Okay. We be worrying about some of the most dumbest, mundane things and not turning our attention to our local government. Turn your attention to your local government. I be driving when I do drive in Atlanta or whatnot. I be like, man, the more things change, the more they say the same. That building still look like it's blowed up. The streets look mad. Like, it's just worse. No changes. All these community leaders, community activists, I run. When you say you're a community leader or you're a community activist, I will listen, it's a shakedown. They be blowing my phone up. I say, man, no. I'm not saying like, listen, know what's going on in the community. Go if you can't go to a town hall, like really to find out what is happening. Okay. Now, question I have to pose is, where is the 3-way matching and separation of duties in the government procurement process? Who is watching your money? Who signed off on the invoices? Who signed off on it? That's another good question right there. That's the list. I'm on it. I'm on it. Chaze Barnes over here from the night audit. I am on it. I'm gonna get my IT investigative reporter on, man. Listen, this show, we going places. Listen, in the future, I'm gonna have some correspondence. Because this ain't going nowhere. Listen, we got to be on scene. We need to figure out what's going on. We're going to show all of the documents. Listen, man. Dale Collier, the legends. Who signed off on the invoices? Somebody didn't raise a question anywhere? The coffee spilled on there. Okay, let me scribble it off. Seriously. It's like the lady at the CDC. 2,000 here, 4,000 here, 500 here, 6,000 there. Just going right out the door. I mean, crime do pay. Crime do pay. I don't recommend it. Because when they come for your ass, they come for you, they come for you. They coming for you, they coming for you, they coming for you. Sheriff Jim Brown's coming for you. See, snacker. Right? Listen, it coming for you. Okay. But yeah, who signed off on the invoices? Like I said, the three-way matching, the separation of duties. Who, like, somebody had to know what was going on. Who, what? You had to know who, what, when, and how. And 75 million, 270 million plus. And the only thing everybody can say, I guess Claudine, she was supposed to fax off my invoices last Friday. I gave them to her. I told her, I said, listen, make sure that Mr. Clemens said, God, make sure you fax these off by 5 p.m. Not 5 p.m. 1, not 5 p.m. 2, not 5 p.m. 3, 5 p.m. There needs to be, I'm pretty sure that it shouldn't be one signature. It have to be like 3 or 4 different signatures. Because in order for stuff to get like approved, it's got to go through an audit. It maybe 3 days here, it's sitting in the embassy for 3 days, and then okay, slide over here for another 3 days, and it's slide over here for another. Because it's when it's government procurement or whatnot, it's got a lead time. Some lead times are shorter than others, and some are longer. And y'all have meetings every damn week. Y'all have meetings every damn day. You telling me y'all what? Like how? How did something get missed? How? We pay y'all. Listen, we pay y'all too much damn money to be fucking up the money. My second question to y'all: when a con artist is living in a luxury estate and buying fleets of Ferraris with stolen Medicaid funds, is it a failure of the algorithm or straight compliant negligence? I'm just going to say it's straight compliant negligence. They were in on it. It was an inside job. There was an inside job. That man been wanting it for 20 years. They were like, and it's plus it's California, okay? Maybe it's fraud everywhere, but it's California anyway. That's what I'm saying. They want to write Nick Shirley off. Am I off? Like they want to write. They when people want to start finding out what's going on. No. That's not true. Seriously, follow the money. Cause when you start following the money, that when everybody palms get sweaty, backsides get tight, people start disappearing. People allegedly go on vacation. Phones get cut off. All of a sudden, the number that was working just 24 hours ago now is disconnected. The mailing address is no longer it's no longer deliverable. What we doing? And I gotta hear about people complaining, like, again, people complaining they ain't got no money. They ain't got enough money. They ain't got this, and they ain't doing this, and then they want to talk about they want to rip off people. No, I can understand why, but man, come on, man. For once, can we do the right thing? Listen, y'all, the $270 million or whatnot, $1 trillion, it matters where the money come from. It matters. People want to talk about, if I had $1 billion, man, I'd do this and this. Listen, the money, if you don't have the character, you don't have the systems and checks, and I know people say, well, money, you can't take it with you. What we talking about? What do you mean by that? You can't take it with you? Money make people do evil, foul things if you don't have the character to go along with it. If you don't have the wisdom to go along with it, you don't have the discern to go along with it, absolute corrupts absolute. I know I may be saying it wrong. Listen, I would like to drive a Ferrari, but I think it'd be better served to pay it for myself. I want to be rich, but then I gotta turn around and y'all want to up my taxes up. Y'all want to up my tax, my corporate tax or whatnot, because y'all can't keep control of the money that I pay out to y'all. And then we gotta find different ways to write off a lot of things, whatever, in order to minimize our tax threshold, because to try to keep from, because y'all want to talk about y'all walking around somebody, y'all hate rich people. No, I hate fraudsters. I hate liars. I hate con artists. You need to lock them all up. Burn it all down. Anyway. Shame. Listen, if you are enjoying this or whatnot, make sure you like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification, hit the like button, share it with somebody, share this. Anyway, we got to move on to Carolina. Listen, man, J. Cole got the album out, whatnot. He's got the new album. He's got the tour coming on, whatever, and all that. But apparently, it's y'all over there moving.
Investigators say are driving gun violence and drug crime across the Carolinas are now facing charges.
And tonight, federal officials are revealing the results of a 3-month crime crackdown that led to hundreds of arrests and the seizure of drugs and illegal firearms. WCNC Charles' Bria Smith spoke with federal investigators today and joins us live now from Uptown. Bria, what'd you learn?
Yeah, Jane, well, Operation Spring Cleaning was a coordinated effort with one main goal: targeting violent crimes and those fueling it.
Our goal here was, before those summer months come, when kids get out of school, our young people get recruited to a life of crime. Before that comes, we want to get the worst of the worst off the streets. Spring cleaning.
U.S. Attorney Russ Ferguson announced the operation resulted in 56 federal defendants charged, 157 fugitives apprehended, and the seizure of more than 254 kilograms of illegal drugs.
562 pounds of drugs. So think about that for a minute, 562 pounds.
Among that haul was more than 22 kilograms of fentanyl, enough to potentially produce millions of lethal doses. Investigators also recovered 110 illegal firearms during the 3-month enforcement surge. But with an operation this large, law enforcement says it takes great calculation and intentionality to make an effective and safe seizure.
They have to make sure that school kids going to school or catching a bus, or the innocent people don't get caught up in crossfire or some other evil act that these people are accused of doing and cost lives.
And one of the biggest cases emerged in North Charlotte. Last week, federal agents arrested 10 people at the Garden Inn and Suites on Reagan Drive. Prosecutors allege the hotel had become a hub for drug dealing and illegal gun sales, with some of the suspects now facing federal fentanyl trafficking and firearm charges.
For us, particularly along I-85 and Sugar Creek, and I said this last week, we're going to work with our community. We're going to work with other city departments to make sure that we clean up that entire area and that it can be a safe place for people to live and reside, including our young people.
Ferguson says the goal was to get ahead of summer crime trends and send a message that criminals can't avoid prosecution by crossing county or state lines.
We relied on a number of agencies here, local agencies, state agencies, federal agencies, South Carolina, North Carolina, across counties, to clean our streets for the summer months that are to come.
Now, law enforcement leaders say this won't be the last major crackdown, as more are expected in the coming months. For now, live in Uptown, Bria Smith, WCNC Charlotte.
Yeah, big bust for law enforcement.
All right, and just in time for the summer. Thanks, Bria.
Right. Way to clean the streets up. Way to clean the streets up. I had a song called Clean the Streets Up. About this exact thing. All right. I looked at this earlier, and the question The question that I asked Google, because the World Cup is happening, I asked, was Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte was a hosting site? It's not. It's for, like, I think for the qualifier game, not for the actual, I think for the team, whatever and all that, but for the actual FIFA Cup, no. So that's why I was like, because here in Atlanta, it's a hosting site. So, you're definitely going to crack down with that. So, yeah, listen. J. Cole said y'all survived the let out. I guess y'all thought we survived the let out. We survived the let out. Then y'all listen, y'all right back up in there. Right back up in there. I think my neighbor think I'm selling dope. Listen, y'all too hard out here, man. Y'all too hard out here. Y'all too hard out here. Y'all listen, y'all drying up, y'all making the ladies dry. This is a sidebar. All right. that is a sidebar. All right, listen, it's a night audit, man. Listen, it's after hours. All right, so my question I have to ask, I don't need niggas really necessary question, but like, I think in these federal sweeps and stuff, seizing hundreds of illegal weapons at once and drugs, all at one time, whatnot. Now, of course, these people they all got to be prosecuted. See, I think it's one thing to get an arrest, and that same thing like with the fraudster case, with the last story, and the story I did yesterday as well. A couple of them I did yesterday. It's one thing to seek an arrest, okay, but it's the prosecution that matters. Now, do I think some of these people like the lesser people are gonna get lesser time, the middle people might get a little time, and they might try to flip on the kingpin, whatever, and all that. You know what I'm saying? To try to get off, try to get a lighter sentence. You know how this stuff is. You know how this stuff go. Listen, you want to clean the streets, so you want to because nobody wants to be dodging bullets, okay? Nobody want to be dodging bullets and fentanyl and neighborhood wars and stuff like that. Nobody want to be dodging. Nobody want to be dealing with that. People might be flying into Charlotte for vacation this summer. Nobody want to be dealing with that. Okay, nobody wants to have happenings that nobody don't want to see the crackheads. Okay, as much minimize crackheads. We don't want to see the thuggy thugs. Okay, like we don't want to see the dusty dusties. Okay, I heard Charlotte is a beautiful city anyway. I know this is just the underbelly of it. Like most places, you got your dusty dusties and whatnot out there, So with this level, I don't think it's something local law enforcement can handle because, again, once you kind of cross state lines, it's one thing to cross county lines, and then, like I said, you're pumping a lot of drugs and weapons and violence and stuff like that. It becomes a federal problem. It becomes a federal issue. Okay, all right. Now we already got a problem with the judges, so these people, who knows? These people we might be reported on some of these people from this case, like, yeah, this person was out on bond, he was facing a weapons charge and trafficking charge, but the judge decided to let him out. He had been convicted like 6 times. So we gonna see what comes of this. Okay, we gonna see what comes of it, because with these crazy stupid bail reforms and stuff like that, people, they don't like, it takes so long to get these people to come to trial. These people gonna get arrested, lawyer up, and they're gonna be able to walk. They're gonna be out scot-free, still being able to do what they're gonna do, which I think is stupid. So I think it's best for all of them to get arrested and stay locked in, stay locked away into your trial. Go ahead and cut your deals. Go ahead and cut your plea deals, whatever, and all that. Flip on whoever you need to flip on, because you know most of y'all can't survive jail anyway. Y'all, J. Cole lied to y'all talking about y'all survived the let out. We survived the let out. Yeah, okay. Your ass going right back up in there. Right back in the clink. Oh, we survived the let out. Oh man, but listen, man, it's a summer, man. It's listen, you gotta listen, it's an election season. Listen, people gotta step it up. Oh, we hate law enforcement and all this stuff like that. And then it's like, no, we gotta turn it up. We gotta turn the heat up right before election cycle. It's election season, so this is something, people to try to boost people's careers and stuff like that. People probably running for some prosecutors, federal prosecutors probably running for re-election, or attorney generals, separate story, but yeah. All right, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we gonna move on to the next story. This next one here is wild, man. Man, we gonna take this over to San Jose. Y'all out there dangerous. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, let's switch this up. Boom. Ooh. When I saw this, I was
State
like,
police continue searching for whoever was responsible for a deadly drive-by shooting that happened over this past weekend. That shooting happened early Sunday morning in the downtown area. Welcome, everyone, to The 4. I'm Alex Savage.
And I'm Jana Kalsiyama. KTVU Fox 2 News reporter Mark Sayer is live at San Jose Police Headquarters, where police just released some new information. Mark, what are they telling you?
Well, Jana, Alex, there were 3 people who were shot in all, one of them fatally, all while riding inside of the same vehicle. And now the search is on for the suspect or suspects involved in this case. Plywood covers the windows of the high-rise apartment complex at 1st and East Reed Streets in downtown San Jose, where the victim's vehicle came to rest as crews continue to work to clean up the sidewalks outside. This was how it looked on Sunday, a black Porsche in which police say all 3 of the victims were riding at the time of the shooting crashed just after 2 a.m. on Sunday morning. San Jose police say an unknown suspect or suspects fired on the Porsche, but there is no evidence that any of the occupants inside returned fire.
The car crash occurred subsequently after the shooting. We're still trying to paint a picture of what led to the shooting, what led to the homicide, and our detectives are working around the clock to follow leads so that we could quickly identify and apprehend the suspect.
Real fast, it happened real fast. Jabari King lives nearby and heard what he knew to be gunshots.
It's something like fully automatic, probably like 10 to 12 shots. That's what I heard, yeah.
Resident Neil Beck also heard the commotion.
Just heard a couple cars like going fast. But I know the difference between fireworks and gunshots. And I'm thinking, well, maybe somebody had an accident or something, but I'm thinking that sounded like gunshots.
Police say that the 3 victims, the one deceased and both survivors, are not San Jose residents, but their hometowns are not being disclosed. Detectives hope interviews with the survivors will help shed light on the circumstances of the shooting or a possible motive. Police also say it is very fortunate that nobody else on the sidewalk nor in any of the surrounding buildings was hurt.
I think in any situation where someone produces a firearm and indiscriminately is shooting in the public, that could create a dangerous situation for anyone involved. That's why we take these kind of violent crimes seriously.
Now, this is San Jose's 10th homicide of 2026. One of the key things that police are trying to put together is, was this some kind of road rage incident that occurred perhaps shortly before the actual shooting, or was this a directly targeted shooting where one of the victims, or possibly all of the victims that were in that Porsche, were known to the shooter and it was a targeted shooting? So whether it was a road rage or specifically targeted, that's what police are looking for. They're trying to get answers to exactly what happened. And of course, they're asking anyone with any information to please call San Jose Police Homicide Detectives. Reporting live from San Jose Police Headquarters, I'm Mark Sayer, KTVU, Fox 2 News. Alex,
And Mark,
Janet?
real quickly, just in that area, are there any surveillance cameras or anything like that that could provide them some kind of evidence as to what happened as they
Well, obviously, yeah, obviously that's something that homicide detectives are definitely looking at. They're looking at witness statements. They're looking to see if anyone has security cameras or possibly someone with their phone in one of those high-rise windows getting some video. You never know where the video is. If that exists, police definitely are asking residents to give them a call because they would like to see it.
Yeah, investigators trying to sort this one out. All right, Mark Sayer, live for us in San Jose. Thank you so much for the update there.
It is not every day that someone that's a Taycan. That is a Porsche Taycan. I love Porsches. They are driver enthusiasts. They are driver's car. Ain't no way. Now they can get. Now of course there's been collisions. They've been but ain't this not every day that you're that a Porsche is getting shot at. And he's saying like one person automatically like nah. I think, and then the two that survived, they wasn't from there. That wasn't from there. Use the context clues. Listen, they residents have not been disclosed, which is I get it, understand. I don't believe no road rage. That's not road rage. I think it was a hit. And I think that, I don't know they got who they got, but they were trying to get all of them, but nah, ain't no road rage. Because ain't nobody driving a Porsche these days or getting their car shot at. I'm not saying that luxury cars can't be targets, but it's very rare. 2, 3. There's something going on. Last story I did yesterday, people shooting at 2, 3 in the morning. What's happening? What's going on? I'm not naive, but dang, like they was like, well, y'all complaining about us shooting in the daytime. We're gonna shoot the nighttime. Insane. Oh, well, a question I have, I don't know, it's not even a question. Say, listen, I don't know. It says like, my question is like, are luxury assets making drivers immediate high visibility targets in major cities? Well, I think if you're driving, I think like if you are driving something now, I mean, any car can be a target, but I think one that stands out more, you're likely that you draw some heat that you possibly didn't want to attract, So head on the swivel, 365. If you got to drive a little fast, bust a left, bust a right, bust another left, bust a right. One lucky night with the homies. That's Kendrick Lamar. Just riding. Me and the homies. Just cruising, acting a fool, really tripping. Yeah, I think it was a targeted hit. That's not like a random, like, hey, you cut me off. Because a Taycan, if you can peel off. If you know how to drive, what I'm saying, you can get up and go. Okay. You might shoot, bullet might hit, but it's hard to hit a moving target. But yeah, I hope they find the guys who did that. I'll get that resolved. Moving on. Speaking of cars, this next story, this was terrible. This was horrible. I know we gotta sticking to the theme of who got shot, who got. We gotta do it. All right.
Developing this noon, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says a tow truck driver was shot and killed while attempting to repossess a car. We brought you this as breaking news this morning and have stayed on top of it. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Phil Amato.
And I'm Shay Simon. Action News Jack Zion Dakota. He joins us live now from East 21st Street off of US 1. Zion, JSO says that they are still looking for the suspected shooter, and that person may not even be the owner of the car.
That's correct, Shay and Phil. We've been here since about the 5 o'clock hour this morning, bringing you this story live. And it was a much more active scene earlier this morning. But I want you to get a look at what this complex, Sanctuary Walk, looks like behind me. It's a lot emptier. It's a lot calmer right now. Again, JSO says that a repo man was here trying to repossess a vehicle when he got into a confrontation with the owner of the car, and then a suspected third person came out and shot the driver to death. A man who works across the street from the shooting site sent us this video from right after the incident. It was after 10 p.m. Tuesday night. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says a tow truck driver was repossessing a vehicle at the Sanctuary Walk apartment complex. The owner of the car came out and fought the driver when JSO says a suspected third person shot the driver.
Jacksonville Fire and Rescue was requested, responded, and transported him to a local hospital where he later died from his injuries.
I went back to work, and I'm working, and I hear like a bunch of gunshots. You hear like one set of gunshots, maybe about 3, and then like 10 seconds later, you hear like another 5, 7 gunshots.
Michael Jones's granddaughter lives in this complex. He's a pest control service driver who also has affiliations with the tow truck industry.
Not rational when a person gets up in the morning to go to work to know that this may be the day they get shot.
According to the Florida Department of Agriculture, licensed recovery agents and recovery agent interns are prohibited from carrying guns while on private property and in the course of repossession activities.
No way to self-defend yourself. We need to relook at the law and see if they can be amended.
Christopher Calderon says he called in the tip about this shooting to Action News Jax. As someone who was incarcerated, he says self-control is key.
Regulate your emotions. It's called dysregulation. Look it up online. There's free therapy stuff on YouTube. You're gone. Bye. Ramen and beans and rice. Ugh, man. I've had that food before. I ain't never going back.
As for whether Rico will be more cautious on his service calls,
And you said
earlier, you fear no one but
God. I fear no one but God. I state that for the record.
there is no description of the suspect who is still at large. The name of the towing business involved is still unclear. Police say that this is an isolated incident. If you have any information, you are being asked to call JSO's non-emergency number. That is 904-630-0500, or you can call Crime Stoppers to remain anonymous if you choose it. Again, this scene is a lot less active. When we were here earlier this morning, we saw police looking at shell casing markers. There were people all over the complex looking at this scene and a crowd of police, but that has since dissipated this noon. Much more on this coming up later on Action News Jax. For local coverage you can count on in Jacksonville this afternoon, Zion Decoto, Action News Jax.
All right, I don't know about the rice and beans and rice. I don't know. I don't know where I don't know what homeboy was going with that. Okay. All right. I don't know. It seems like a very, I don't know. Might be one of those iffy. Like it. Some days is good, some days is bad. But listen, it's almost like it's like, even though it's not law enforcement now, again, I'm pretty sure like no one, he's right. The guy, he didn't think, he got up this morning that it was going to be his last day on this earth. So prayers up to him. Okay. Number one, I wouldn't have to come repossess your car if you would pay your car note. That's number one. Or like, why would you buy a car that you can afford? So why I gotta suffer because you fail on your financial obligation? You broke your end of the bargain, and I gotta take shots for that. I gotta get into a shouting match. This is why they do block in cars, or they stake them out a little bit, and that's why they don't also have a problem humiliating them, doing it in front of their kids. So you decided, like, you know what, man, fuck this. You ain't taking my car. Guess what? Your punk ass still going to jail. They're going to take your car and you're going to jail and you're going down for murder. The alleged owner or whoever, like either which way, you're going down for murder. And anybody in there trying to like, oh no, what's happened? Lies. I thought these soldier drivers, normally they have their own protection. I think on repossessions and whatnot, maybe you got to bring law enforcement in there. I guess if it's in a high risk area, because if it's in a rich part of town, rich people are like, okay, no worries. We was gonna get rid of the car anyway. They in the middle of bankruptcy. They too broke to know right now. But man, how am I supposed to get my car? How am I supposed to get around? Negro. I don't know the male's Negro. So, but it's like, sir, like, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. How you supposed to get? That's not my problem. How you supposed to get around? How you supposed to get around town? You stay up on top of your financing and whatnot. Stay on top of your car note. We got here. Listen, he might probably was 1 month behind, and they probably wouldn't work with him. But no, you threw that out. You ruined that. You ruined that. Like maybe you did need the beans and rice and beans. What that guy was saying. I don't know how this connects to this, but told to companies if this again, and I don't know, maybe this is in the state of Florida, or whatnot. I don't know how it is across the way, but there's got to be ways to mitigate risk. It's a car. Get another car. Or pay this one off, or pay, like, listen, or don't drive something you can afford. Anyway, okay, listen, we're almost done. Wrap it up, man. Listen, we got 2 more stories, okay, and another one that has to deal with cars. And thankfully, in this story, no one was hurt. Whew. All right, so hopefully that they get this guy who did that, because shame. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Just give him a car. Like you could, listen, give the car. Listen, it ain't worth it. Okay, it ain't worth it. So it takes me to this next story. Again, people not controlling their emotions out here. I don't know. Maybe they need to listen to some Iceman. She bang. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know, but
driver involved in a road rage incident that was caught on camera. Fox 5's Denise Dillon is live in Kennesaw tonight. Denise, police are trying to identify the man in that video.
Yeah, they certainly are. Now, this happened on Main Street. A driver told police he was going the speed limit, but apparently that was too slow for the guy behind him.
He was honking and making hand gestures.
The driver who took this video told police he was heading north on Main Street in Kennesaw, going the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. When he says the driver behind him must have thought he was going too slow. The driver passed him on Main Street, then hit a red light. The driver got out, stomped back to the car he had just passed, and the shouting began.
Was screaming at him and began hitting his
That
driver
would have been your last
multiple
day.
times, causing damage.
During all the yelling, the drivers did not exchange names, and police were not able to get a tag number for the man in the Ford Edge.
According to the victim, in the middle of this altercation, before he started filming, the driver that we're trying to identify walked to the back of his vehicle and folded or rolled his license plate upward where it blocked the letters and numbers.
So Kennesaw police released this video of the man who appears to be in his 40s or 50s wearing a Detroit Tigers hat, hoping someone can help
He should be
investigators
on
figure out who he is
Life.
so they can chat with him.
Get his side of the story. And then really just address the fact that this is a situation that could have been avoided.
This all happened in front of Brianna Irwin's coffee shop, the local Doe.
I think it's terrifying that someone could get that raged up and like that worked up and get out of his car.
Police say typically they don't see a lot of road rage in Kennesaw, but sometimes it only takes one small incident to escalate.
Being upset with someone if they're driving too slow, if they turned out in front of you, if they didn't use their turn signal, that's not a reason for violence.
And police say handle this, avoid the situation, turn down a side street, or even head to the nearest police department. And don't forget, if you recognize the man in that video, give Kennesaw Police a call. Reporting live, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, somebody certainly recognizes him, no question. Denise, thanks.
maybe he didn't get his coffee. Maybe his coffee ain't kick in. Listen, if you bang on my window, you bang on the window of my car. At that point, you put your life in your own hands. I don't get it. I've had people drive all, around me, whatever and all that. I'm doing the speed limit, whatever and all that. And I just be like, I had this thing I used to say. I said, listen, I hope your car flips over, and I pray to God that you live. Okay. Listen, maybe you need some beans and rice and beans. Maybe you need like de-escalation or whatnot, because that's what you need. He's that man was not being a comprehensive man right now. He was acting his femininity. He was being feminine. He was literally, can't believe it. But thankfully nobody get hurt. Like again, like unlike the last story, like again, nobody didn't get hurt. Okay. That's what matters. But people, like, stay in your car, like go about your way. Somebody cut. Okay, listen, man, that's for a brief moment. Woosah and keep going. Cause you gotta, and now if something happens, you have to be accountable for your actions. You got to be accountable for that. Okay. You got to be accountable for that. So that's what people gotta like understand here. So I don't know. How do you handle an unhinged perimeter breach on the road without escalating the situation? I mean, like I said, like you just, I mean, now if you, I would say, video recorded. I would say number one, I know like people wrote, like just stay in your car. Stay in the car. That's your castle. Your car is your castle. It's your domain. Stay in your car. If you can, maybe drive off on them. Like, hey man, bump this. You're gonna be 3 seconds in the cloud of dust. You're gonna be arguing with some dust, buddy. Now, again, I feel threatened. So I got again, legal justification means I probably call the cops. Probably get the cops on the call, get the cops on the call, and say, hey, what are my options? Now they probably say if sir, ma'am, if you can, don't, but if you feel threatened, only if you feel as if you threatened. And like it looks like the guy in the van was probably working. He's probably in the company truck. So again, like you gotta make smart choice. Okay. Now if he's probably riding his regular car, and I'm telling what, this is probably a different story. This is probably a different conversation we're having right now. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So y'all gotta be careful out there. All those motorists, all those drivers every day. Listen, be careful. Be a defensive driver. And if somebody do cut you off, whatever and all that, don't assume that they tried to do on purpose. Okay. All right. Moving to this last story. This last story is a doozy. We're gonna take y'all over to Santa Monica. Yeah. Never been to Santa Monica.
News out of Santa Monica. Residents there are on alert after a mountain lion was spotted in a residential neighborhood.
Yeah, the big cat has been resting in one particular yard for much of the day. KTLA's Rachel Menitoff is live in Santa Monica with an update on the situation and the crowd that it's drawn. Rachel.
Karine, John, that's absolutely right. For the time being, we're inside our car because we're told that crews are trying to tranquilize the animal at the moment. And just in case it were to run up the street, they want everyone to be inside their homes. They told us to stay in our car. This mountain lion has been lounging in someone's front yard at 14th and Montana. I've been in touch with the homeowner. She has had to shelter in place much of the day. She told me that earlier this morning she was sitting in her yard on her swing when she looked over and she saw a cat. She quickly realized this wasn't your typical house cat, but something much larger and potentially much more dangerous. Take a look. One of LA's most popular dining and shopping areas on lockdown after a mountain lion made its way into the neighborhood. What is it like having a mountain lion camped out in your neighborhood?
It's pretty surreal, and I understand it's a big mountain lion and it's beautiful.
The cat was first spotted by some kids on their way to school who apparently knew they had to keep their cool. The animal then moved into the Redmond's yard off of Montana Avenue.
It was in our neighbor's backyard around 8 this morning, which I didn't know. Otherwise, I would not have taken my dog for a walk at 8, which I did.
California Fish and Wildlife usually tries to avoid chasing a mountain lion because if it gets startled, it can bolt unpredictably through neighborhoods. Their preferred approach in a situation like this one is to let the animal stay calm, isolate the area, then tranquilize it from a safe distance.
They want to make sure that nobody's in the range in case the mountain lion gets scared and has to kind of bolt.
Natasha Judge and other onlookers are mesmerized, shocked that such a large wild animal was able to find his way to the beach. They're hoping for his safe return home to the mountains.
A lot of us are animal lovers, so we're all just out here trying to pray for a good outcome.
And all of the streets around here are closed right now. I am told that the animal may have escaped from its original hiding place and may be roaming around these streets. So everyone is sheltering in place in their homes until they get the all clear from police and from Fish and Wildlife. We'll continue to keep you updated on this very fluid developing situation. For now, we're live in Santa Monica. I'm Rachel Menitoff. Karine, John, back to you in the studio.
Oh, all right, Rachel.
Stay safe.
Ooh. Man, oh man. Listen, if that is a reason to get out of not going to work, that's the perfect reason. Hey, y'all, I can't go to work today. Why not? There's a mountain lion outside of my house right now. I cannot. I'm not budgeting. Nope. Can't you? Nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Not at all. Not at all. I don't know. My last question is, when a mountain lion is chilling, it's just chilling like a villain in a Santa Monica backyard, is it an environmental fluke or a reminder that urban security parameters are always vulnerable to unexpected entry? I say that you never know what you're going to see in the city. There are places around Metro Atlanta like Dunwoody, Sandy Springs, couple places where they have those little signs like watch out for deer, and I've seen some deer. So you got to know that still wildlife, we encroaching on their space as well, you know. So every now and again, every blue moon, you know, I see some. Matter of fact, when I was coming home from work today, leaving or going to the gym, I saw some geese. I was like, oh, we stopped. We stopped, let the geese go by, whatnot, but it was beautiful. But it's just a reminder that, you know, we are, you know, we got to share the ecosystem here. Okay. Gotta share the ecosystem. It is like, I remember one day I walked out of my house, I was heading to work. I seen 2 dogs. I was like, now I'm not per se afraid of dogs, but you know, you see a stray dog, you like, they're looking at you. I'm looking at them like, they probably been domesticated with it and all that, but I'm looking. I don't want to, you know, like make no sudden moves or whatnot. I ain't trying to get into a dog fight, not today. But yeah, man, I thought I ended on a lighter note than yesterday, the yesterday stories, whatnot. But yeah, this concludes. You know what? Hold on, let me hit y'all with this, man. This concludes another episode of the Night Audit. Hell of a show. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment and hit your notifications. Okay. Try to drop videos daily. This week has been a little busy with other things and whatnot. So I'm pushing out stuff to people, pushing out content. Again, we're growing. We're slowly growing. 1 subscriber at a time, 1 video at a time, 1 watch hour at a time. We're earning it. We're on our way. Okay, we're on our way. So to the next time, remember, audit your life before the world audits yours. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.